Hello everybody, my name is Poison Ducky, and today we're going to have the forces of Chaos and the Beastmen versus the forces of the Lizardmen and the High Elves. It is a 2v2, ladies and gentlemen. I don't get to show them too often, but I do get into a fair bit of 2v2s. I do turn on my team merging, which is very fun. I do enjoy 2v2s, but it's just like I feel like the strategies are much more loose, and there's a lot more. Cheese is a much stronger part of the 2v2. There's a lot of ranged cheese because that's when you have enough units to just range down to enemy units before they can really get any effect. But let's get into the army introductions. I'll go a little quicker this time as it's 2v2 and 4 armies in total introduction. That's quite a bit. I'm playing as Chaos here. I'm going to have a pretty cheap line up front. Just on the right flank, I'm going to have some Chaos Marauders backed with Chaos Warriors with great weapons. On each side, I'm going to have 2 units of Forsaken and the Regiment of Renown Forsaken. Now, they're the poison ones, and they reduce melee attack with more Chaos Marauders, of course. And of course, I'm going to have to bring the Mirror Guard. Fantastic unit overall, very cost-efficient, and fast for an infantry unit that's armored. As my heavy core, I'm going to bring 2 units of Dragon Ogres. Dragon Ogres are very powerful, anti-large, scaly, very high mass. Overall, very powerful against any Lizardman matchup, except against Temple Guard. So very clean army. My leader is going to be Sigvald the Magnificent. I just love him because he's hard to snipe, and I really dislike losing my lord very early on in the game. And a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, just for good measure, just in case they bring cheap chaff like infantry. My teammate over here is going to be bringing the mighty, just a bunch of Ungor Spearman Herd as his front line, very cheap overall, and he's going to bring Korok's Manrippers, a anti-large halberd infantry, which Bestogors with halberds, very fantastic. And he's very an expensive core overall. 2 units of Minotaurs, one being the Butchers of Kakengard, which regenerate, which cause terror, just a fantastic unit overall, and the anti-large variant, which is Minotaurs with great weapons. They're essentially better than Dragon Ogres and just in overall combat, but they have less stats. They have less models, I believe, and a little bit less mass. So let's see. Actually, let's say I have 12, they have 12 exactly. So we're very similar in stat line, actually, except I have more mass. And I believe they should have better slightly stats. Now, he's going to Vanguard deploy a few Centaurs. Oh, not Centaurs, Goreherds. 2 Goreherds with shields in the flank and another unit of Centaurs. There they are, into the force. So we have a very high mobility advantage over here. And over on the left flank, I believe there's going to be 2 units of Centaurs as well. Let me just take a good, 2 units of Centaurs on the far left flank in deep Vanguard deployment. Now, my High Elf opponent is, yes, indeed, that is 3 units of Great Eagles. Interesting unit. I don't like the Great Eagle. Very fast, obviously, but not enough impact, no armor piercing. I just feel like if they cause at least fear, I feel like they would be good, but they don't even cause fear. So they're not very fantastic at what they do. A very hard ranging skirmishing core over here with 3 units of Illyrian Reaver archers. Very fantastic, cost-efficient units. One of the best horse archers in the game, as they have very good melee stats, especially when they have the martial prowess over there. Now, as a front line, 3 units of Eagle Bolt Claw throwers and 2 units of Swordmasters of Hoeth, rounded out with 2 units of spears on the flank. And he's going to be led by the mighty Tyrion. Almost said Teclis there. I'm not exactly sure why. And my Lizardman opponent is going to have a lot of he has Temple Guards on the flank. Well, only 1 unit of Temple Guard. That's interesting. Temple Guard, Saurus Warriors, and some Skinks, with some Chameleon Skinks to round out the build. And the mighty part of his build is he's going to have a Bastillodon with a solar engine, and he's going to have a Revivification Crystal, along with a Slann Mage with Heavens. No Banana Slann today. And he's going to have 2 units of Cold One Riders, 3 units of 2 units of Feral Cold Ones, and a unit of Cold One Riders in the forest. Surprised he didn't bring Lord Croak along. But with the armies introduced, let's get into this battle. Now we're going to start a little slower. I realized, oh, wait, we do not have the range advantage. And of course, I forgot to introduce 1 unit of Teardown Riders. But we do not have the range advantage in this battle. Of course, I'm playing Chaos, and I did not bring the Chaos Cannon. So we're going to be advancing as fast as possible. And the way the High Elves situated their army, they're very spread out. The enemy army is very spread out. So I have, while my units may not be the fastest, I'm going to definitely focus in and attack on this flank over here. While from this flank over here, while my opponent pushes this flank down here. Now my Lizardman opponent is going to recognize this, and he's going to back off. As in the forest, we spot his cavalry hidden in the forest, and we're going to get into an engagement. We see here that the Gore herds make contact. The first engagement is against some Cold Road Riders, which is not a good engagement for the Gore herds at all. But how do we respond with this? The few units that are fast on the Chaos roster are going to be the Dragon Ogres with 64 speed, which is decent. And we're going to hit them in turn and make sure their large units get off the battlefield relatively quickly. Oh, there's a lot of raptors going on. Oh, it's just Jurassic Park against little beasts. Poor Gore herds. They didn't deserve that. But of course, here comes the Gore Bull and the Butchers of Calican Guard, dealing so much damage to enemy units just on the charge. And my opponent's going to try to get out of there, but the Rampage is what keeps them there, and it's going to be a detrimental loss to these two Feral Cold Ones, with my Dragon Ogres chasing after the Cold One Riders as well. Now over here back in the front line, we make a first engagement with the Ungor Spearman herds. Now they aren't fantastic. They hold the line, and that's really about it. And we're going to have the Bray Shaman of Wild riding around on his mighty chariot, pushing through the enemy chaff. Now Morgur the Shadowgave is my teammate's lord, and he's just a fantastic lord overall. He's very much like Siegwald in that he's very hard to take out. And that's what I really like, is that he has more magic resistance. Siegwald is much more afflicted on the range resistance since he has a silver shield. Over on the left flank, I get completely outmaneuvered. There are so many High Elf archers and great swords coming my way, which have a great matchup against my Mirror Guard. They rout almost instantly, but that's okay because we're going to focus more on the central flank. Now the Lightning and Chaos Spawn, a Chain Lightning is going to be used and Chaos Spawn are summoned, but we're going to destroy the enemy Lizardman frontline. Now focus a little bit more on the Lizardman over here as my Dragon Ogres completely and utterly destroy the Bastillon with the Revivification Crystal. And of course the Minotaurs helping as well, as we have so much anti-large potential here. Now I see the spell here. We're going to kill off this Revivification. We don't want him coming back. Go away. Please go away. I know he's going to die any second. Only 125, 8 hit points, and he's down. And now we're going to go after the Slann Mage. My opponent's going to try to win it back with some Skinks and some rampaging Feral Cold Ones, but that is not going to do well for him. Back here on the front line, we have a Chaos mashup. Once Chaos gets into the front line infantry fight, it is game over for most units. Forsaken and the Man Rippers going through the Saurus. Now, they aren't the best matchup, but the Forsaken just have so much damage. Once they hit, they deal a lot, and the Man Rippers do have armor piercing, which will do well against the Saurus. Over in the front lines, on the left front line, we have Chaos Warriors with great weapons versus the Swordmasters of Hoeth. Now, Swordmasters of Hoeth will beat the Chaos Warriors with great weapons, but I have 2 units here. And we do have Chaos Spawn in the back, doing a Sword Hammer and Anvil, as Chaos Spawn are very fast. They deal a lot of damage. Unfortunately, they're not armor piercing, but they still are going to knock the models around and deal a lot of damage. The 3 Great Eagles, I'm not sure what my opponent's trying to do with them, but they're just going around, just squirming, trying to deal damage to the Chaos Warriors. But 12 kills here, 21 was it? 10 over here. They're not terribly effective against armored units such as Chaos Warriors. Now some light skirmishing over by the Pterodon Riders. They're doing well. But the Infantry Corps, it turns out the artillery just do not have enough damage per second to destroy the forces of the huge melee forces that we have. Now the enemy Lord is going to die as we catch him out with our Dragon Ogres, and we're going to make sure we destroy everything large that's left on the battlefield. Bastillon with Solar Engine, goodbye. Dragon Ogres can deal with pretty much anything that the opponent has, except for Temple Guard or maybe some Phoenix Guard, but only 1 unit of Temple Guard and no Phoenix Guard were brought. My lord here, Prince Sigvald, is actually going to be in quite a bit of melee, but I'm going to use a burning head here. Which will do a lot of damage. For my caster I believe is off in the distance. Unfortunately, my units are getting picked off by Illyrian archers, but Burning Head is probably one of the most cost-efficient spells in dealing with lots of bunched light infantry. And unfortunately, my enemy does not have that many light infantry, but Burning Head nonetheless will do a lot of damage to anything. Like spearmen, it can, even though they're not infantry, Illyrian archers will take a lot of damage, and this is a huge bunch. I really wish I took the Fire Vortex spell here. Bastiladons versus, and my Forsaken, my Demon Spew, going in and applying the poison, making sure they're slowed and reducing everyone's melee attack. Dragon Ogres here on the flank, along with, we just have a death squad of Dragon Ogres and Minotaurs that essentially just destroy everything. And my Forsaken just chasing the little spearmen off the battlefield. I love the animations of the Great Hawks though. Great Eagles, sorry. Now we're just having a monster mash. I see that there's 3 Great Eagles. My teammates as well sees the monster mash and brings in all of our anti-large capabilities to take out the Great Eagles. They're not going to do anything anymore in this combat, and the Illyrian archers are going to charge into our infantry, which at first charge is going to do a lot of damage, but fortunately for us, they lose their martial prowess when their health goes low, and a lot of damage is going to be ensued once the infantry actually get a hold. My caster, unfortunately, is going to get caught out here, but another spell is going to go off, and I believe another Burning Head will be pulling a bolt. Look at this Burning Head. Look at this, all this light armored. And that's going to rout the Illyrian Reaver archers along with the Swordmasters of Hoeth. 2 units of archers and a Swordmaster of Hoeth in just 1 Burning Head. Quite a bit of value. The balance of power is in our favor quite heavily, and I believe at this point my opponent cannot come back. My infantry that routed earlier are just going to make a comeback, take out the little artillery pieces, any that are left at least. And this is going to be a pretty effective cleanup. Many deaths to the enemy. I love Forsaken in this matchup. Forsaken is just so fantastic, high damage. But I'm really happy that my opponent reacted and played in such an aggressive manner that this was over like a quick battle. And when fighting over quick battles, a lot of times your teammate doesn't have the same, he doesn't look at your army comp and doesn't like react to, make sure we have an army comp that synergizes well. And he did, my opponent did, with a rush build. I went for a very much more aggressive chaos build as well as my opponent. Instead of going like a raged, focused, we both rushed very powerfully and very hard. And that's what makes Beastmen 2 chaos factions. They work well, very well together. Let's look at our unit efficiencies. I think Forsaken just always doing well. 93 kills, 1245. The Dragon Ogres are probably the real MVPs of my army, getting all these chevrons. I didn't put them on at the beginning, mind you, but they're just so fantastic. They deal so much damage, and they have so much mass. It's just they're just great at everything except killing halberds. But my opponents didn't bring any. Surprisingly enough, this was meant for a counterpick against all the dinosaurs and possible dragons, but yeah, I think it went well. Sigvald did well as well. He didn't die, and that's what matters, and that's why you pick Prince Sigvald. He doesn't die. Opponent did well. My teammate did well. Look at this. Minotaurs were probably his MVP, with the amount of regeneration from the butchers and high like stopping power of this Beastman army. It was fantastic to watch. And my opponents did well. I mean, this high elf army was very odd, I must say. Like 3 Great Eagles. Not many people bring that, but you can tell this is not like an auto-generated army, as like everything's even. It's like 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. So this, my opponent like picked this. It was an interesting build though. A little too much money invested in the Eagle Claw bolt throws, but you know, maybe he was going for like a meme. Opponent did well. Now this looks kind of like a auto-generated army. Anything. Like, he has different units of every type. The only same unit he brings is 2 Feral Cold Ones. Interesting army comp overall, but I believe he needed more stopping power to defeat our infantry. He needed, instead of, like, Bastiladons, he should probably go for either a Carnosaur to deal with our Minotaurs and Dragon Ogres. So Carnosaur, and probably go for something along the lines of more temple guard or something, to help that out, as we don't have anti-infantry that's armor-piercing units, so which are a good matchup against the temple guard. So overall, good game, guys. And if you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you want more. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys later.